Okay, what we have here is a late 70s, early 80s Japanese road bike. Now, you look at the name here, Disassembly. I'm not sure how to say that. That's really not the bike's name. I can tell someone painted that on. And it's definitely not Italian. I thought at first it was. But after further research, I found out that this is actually a Shogun. There's really no name on it or anything. But I dug all over the internet trying to find similar bikes. And this is definitely a Shogun. Not sure what model exactly, but it's got some nice stuff on it. It's got the Shimano 600. I think it's arabesque. I can't pronounce the darn stuff, but anyways, the Shimano 600 group set. It's got Shimano tourney brakes, some killer old Campagnolo water bottles, and then this really nice little old Italian pump. So, Campagnolo shifters. One of the things that's really cool about it, you can tell the previous owner was a little detailed on what he was doing. That's just gear ratios right on his stem. Got this giant cat eye mate computer, and the neat thing is it actually is wired, goes right into the headset. I think goes down through the down tube, through the bottom bracket, and it comes out back in there, if you can see it. Yeah, it comes out of the frame, out of the weep hole. Somehow he got that little wire all the way through the frame. That's crazy. It's gonna come out. But mechanically it's okay. But man, I don't know, maroon and yellow, it's pretty darn ugly. So I'm gonna take it all apart. We're gonna, because of its age, I'm gonna go ahead and make sure all the bottom bracket, wheel bearing, headset, etc. are all lubed. Make sure the wheels are true, etc., etc. I'm going to get rid of all the yellow, and I'm going to give it a pretty cool paint job, along with a few new components. So I think it's going to turn out pretty nice. So stick with me, come into the shop, and watch me do another rebuild. All right, so I know these caps on the cranks are supposed to stay in place, and then you're able to remove them with just the Allen nut. But in my experience, they don't always work, and they get stuck, and then I end up destroying them. So I took them off. Seems like every bike I get has a little surprise for me. And in this case, it was this right side bottom bearing cup. Just would not want to come out. Stubborn little bugger. Okay, the next part of the project is lots and lots of sanding. And it was too dark for me to show you painting, but I did paint it white. So there you go. All right, I've never tried this before, but I bought this liquid masking film to mask off the white lugs on the frame. My idea was to just lather it on there nice and thick and heavy, and then come back and trim off the areas that I don't want masked. So, but it didn't turn out the way I expected, which I'll show you here in a second. As I cut the film, you can see that it just kind of balls up and doesn't cut nicely. And when I pull it away, more masking came off than I intended. So that didn't work out quite the way I expected. As a result, I had to peel off all the masking and then reapply it, but I had to pay attention to where I put it. Now this is where it gets interesting. I decided to try to use what they call alcohol ink to color this bike. And alcohol ink is, well, that's just what it is. It's ink with in an alcohol solution. And what the idea is that you drop it onto the frame, and then you blow with, in this case, I used a little airbrush and blew it, and used, I think, 6 or 7 different colors to see what kind of cool marbly effect I can get. I've never done this before, and so there was a big learning curve. I learned mostly on the forks, but it looked like what I had to do is I used a combination of the airbrush and my air chuck and my air compressor, along with using a brush dipped in rubbing alcohol to kind of help distribute some of the paint because of some of the drips and so forth. But over time, kind of got it figured out. The effect at the end of the day, I was very happy with. It's by far way not even close to being professional paint job, but I'm pretty happy with the way it turned out. Would I do this again? Absolutely. And learning from what I did wrong on this one, I would apply it to the next one. Of course, after the main color was applied, then I had to add a little bling. Gotta have some gold fleck in there. Now to see if my masking worked. Well, it sort of worked. Most of it was protected, but as you can see, not perfect. I was a little disappointed. So generally it was an easy fix. I just had to go back in with a paintbrush and touch up the areas that weren't covered or protected as well. And it turned out okay. Not great. Now a layer of clear coat. And this is what really makes that color pop. It actually brings a lot of it out and it makes it kind of reflect and looks pretty cool. I was very happy with it in general. Okay, so now that the frame's done, obviously I had a lot of work to do, cleaning parts, re-greasing hubs, getting everything ready, replacing parts that were bad. And now I've got a big pile of parts ready to go back on a bike. So let's do some assembly. As a nod to the previous owner, I had to leave the gear ratio sticker on the stem. I don't know. I just kind of liked it. One of the things that I definitely had to upgrade was the brake levers. Although the other ones work just fine, I really dislike the way the cables are not integrated into the bars. So I had to get these and tuck the cables and wrap them underneath the tape. I know what you're thinking. The blue tape is super ugly. And I agree with you. You'll see I change it to black later. Well, like I said, this bike is a Shogun. I don't have any Shogun decals, but I happen to have this Japanese warrior, so I stuck it on the front. Hopefully, hopefully you like it. Well, no ride today, but I will show you now that the sun's out in Michigan, which is rare. We'll finally get to show you the final product. All right, so all done. Definitely much better than it was. I hope you agree with me that I knocked the ugly right off of the old bike, and it looks a lot better than it did. And definitely more interesting than most bike paint jobs. I really do like the way this effect works. Like I said, I'd probably try it again, and maybe with some different colors and whatnot. But I encourage you guys to try it. There's a link in the description below with some of the materials, the inks and so forth that I used. It's not too expensive. Definitely worth trying on a cheaper bike like this one. And, got to keep trying to make these bikes kind of cool and bring them back to life.